Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily. Ronnie Rance alongside Tommy Chrysan here in this special Thursday morning edition of Sports Shorts Daily. A little programming change. We usually do it on Fridays. We moved it up to Thursday this week. Today is Savannah Bananas Thursday. The Savannah Bananas take over Alex Box Stadium in Baton Rouge today, tomorrow, Saturday. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you're fortunate enough to be one that has a ticket, can get a ticket, go do so. Don't worry about the weather. No matter what, it's going to be some of the best entertainment dollars you've ever spent. Trust me. Today, TK's joined us from Tremonti's Meat and Seafood in Baton Rouge, right over by Parkview Baptist, right off of Airline Highway. We are presented by the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. I'm in an undisclosed location. And LeBear's Casino is our presenting sponsor. Stop by LeBear's Casino for all your special events at 18 Steak, some of the best food in town, and Edge Lounge for you 21 and over. Looking for something fun, entertainment, live music, classy joint. Go over there to LeBear's, to the Edge Lounge Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday on the casino floor at LeBear's, Baton Rouge. All right, TK. So today, let's talk a little LSU baseball first. We got a lot to get to. We'll talk basketball. We've got an auction to tell you about. Will Wade in the news. But yesterday, LSU takes care of business with North Dakota State. They now are set up to go to Mississippi State. They leave today to go to Stark Vegas, and then they'll practice tonight. And then they'll have a 3-game series. 6, 4, and 1 are your times. The 4:00 game on Saturday will be on the SEC Network on TV. The disappointing thing about LSU baseball is offensively, they are struggling right now. Did not have double-digit hits in either game this week against a North Dakota State team that came in with a staff ERA of 9 point something. And you don't have double-digit hits. They have a lot of guys trending in the wrong direction offensively that are on the struggle bus. And that is not good going into the SEC season. The good news is LSU's pitching staff may be as good as anybody in America. The bad news is this offense looks like a very much a middle-of-the-pack offense at best in the SEC.
Yeah, I was in some conversation with some buddies last night. We were talking about just that. And, remember you and I talked yesterday, the soft throwers tend to affect LSU and other high-quality teams. We'll find out this weekend, but Mississippi State's not real good. How'd they end up with UNO last night? I know it was 1-1 in the seventh.
Oh, I didn't see. No,
I didn't. Well, it was 1-1 in the seventh. They played over in Biloxi in that minor league park. But anyway, so LSU's got some serious questions on the hitting end of things, and you got to hope they can break out conference play. Everybody's mind changes a little bit. It's conference games, it's SEC play. If you're in Starkville, one of the best venues to play college baseball in America, their fans are wild and crazy. They'll be nuts. State's not the team that they wish they were, but they'll see if they can't get that figured out going forward. And they'd like nothing more than to take 2 out of 3 from LSU. Last night in my conversation with my friend, LSU's got to get 2 out of 3, if not all 3. You got to believe Holman's going to get it done Friday. And then they got to, Gage Jump gets it done. Then it's got to be everybody on deck for Sunday. But they got to hit the ball. They did leave 8 on base last night. That's too many yesterday afternoon. So they just got to, take that deep breath. They're 16-2 in the non-conference games. That's doable. You'll take that. But as you pointed out, it's the question marks that are there on the 16-2 that are going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And one other thing about Yesky, call Nate Yesky, Ronnie, or I'll call it. Cam Johnson's aiming the ball. He's not throwing it. I've thought that every time I watched him pitch. He's trying so hard to throw a strike that he's everywhere. He's got a lot of talent, and I think he'll be good one day. But he's aiming the ball, not throwing it. Anybody that's ever been involved with pitching in baseball knows exactly what I'm talking about. But they got some work to do, and we're going to learn a lot about this team in these 3 games in Starkville. And, of course, can't wait to watch them, can't wait to see them, can't wait to talk about it next Monday.
2-1, Mississippi State beat UNO in 11 innings last night in Biloxi. If you're an LSU fan, you'd like to have seen that game go about 5 innings longer. But no, they did go extra innings. UNO now 8-8 on the season, of course, coached by former Tiger great Blake Dean. 16-2, but but it's not the the two, you'd have thought maybe you'd have lost one to UL or Texas State. You swept those teams. You lost to Stony Brook. You lost to Xavier. That's a surprise, especially a Xavier team and pitching staff had an ERA of 7 or higher. Look, pitching wise, they are as good as anybody. Defensively, they're solid. What you are getting? You're getting Milazzo and Travinsky and Neal. They're all swinging a good bat, playing well. Your 3 catchers, and Neal showed the diversity to be able to play outfield as well. Tommy White has yet to get it going. He's only got 2 homers, batting average around 300. Remember, this is a guy who hit 361 with 10 bombs in just SEC play last year. That's SEC play. I mean, that's unbelievable. LSU hit 61 homers in 29 SEC games last year. They've got just over a homer a game right now. They averaged almost over 2 a game last year in SEC play. They're not going to sniff that this year. So it is a very different team. Now, we have seen Jay Johnson this week be willing to play a little differently, which he's going to have to manufacture runs. He ran a first and third play and stole home. He's been hitting and running a little more. He's bunting a little more. He's going to have to do that as a coach, which goes against really what he wants to do. His style is to, let the bats take care of itself. Don't steal, let the pitching do the thing. He's going to have to play a little more West Coast small ball than he probably expected to this year.
Especially in the bottom half of his lineup. I'm thinking that's what he's thinking, 5 down or 6 down, manufacture a run, once or twice during the game, and then hope that your top half of your lineup produces, start hitting the big fly out of the park, quit leaving guys on base. Look, I totally defer to Jay Johnson. He's forgot more about baseball than I'll ever know, and I think I know a decent amount about baseball. But, again, I'm just really anxious to see what we'll see Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Starkville.
18 games in, and the LSU outfield is wide open. Wide open. I mean, Bingham has to play because he's the best of the rest. And Bingham has 3 years of history and all that. And it was a good sign yesterday. He hit a home run. But if you notice, Tom, if you watch Bingham, and I've been fortunate to see 90% of his at-bats this year, he chases a ball in the eyes out of the strike zone every time. Now, yesterday he got a hanging breaking ball up out of the strike zone and hit a homer, but he swings and misses or pops up more than he doesn't. And I mean, it's surprising for a guy who with 4 years of college baseball that his strike zone recognition is that poor, because he chases everything up. Josh Pearson right now chasing everything up. Pearson's hitting a little over 200. Kling's hitting a little over 200. Bingham's hitting under 300. Like, it's shocking how bad right now they are offensively in the outfield and how it's wide open. The opportunity's there for Brown. The opportunity's there for everybody. Fry, when he comes back from the shoulder thing, it's unfortunate that his shoulder popped out. They don't think it's going to be that severe, but he did the Tommy White thing a year ago. And Fry, would be playing every game, every inning right now. So they got to get him back. But it's a mess out there in the outfield. Infield, pretty set. Outfield, absolute mess right now. All right, let's tell you about the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame before we go on our next topic. We got a great auction going on right now with St. Patrick's Day happening on Sunday. We've got our St. Patrick's Day online auction. It's available right now. It runs through St. Patrick's Day. It ends at 8 o'clock on the 17th. This Sunday, it'll end at 8 o'clock. All the money, all the proceeds supports the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Foundation. Go online at lasportshall.com. That's lasportshall.com. Bid now. We've got over 100 auction items, and it's fantastic stuff. So check it out. Help support the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. Please go to lasportshall.com. And also look for the Baton Rouge Rougarou this Saturday, by the way, in the Wearing of the Green parade over in Baton Rouge from 10 to noon. 10 o'clock, the parade starts. We'll be sharing the float with Hiller Moore, the district attorney of Baton Rouge. Appreciate Hiller for letting us be a part of it. You're going to see the float wrapped and decorated in Rougarou logos and colors, along with the district attorney's logo. We'll be throwing Hall of Fame and Rougarou beads off the float. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll look for our mascot Roo and our interns walking alongside the float. So that'll be this Saturday in Baton Rouge. The Wearing of the Green Parade of Baton Rouge Rougarou will be in the house.
And I'll be on radio Saturday. So if you're not at the parade, or if you're at the parade, put the earbuds in, because we got a dynamite show lined up for you with Joel Davis is back, Bill Frank, Lynn Rollins. I got some guests from New Orleans to talk about the Saints. So Saturday morning, I'll be at the Walk-Ons in Bruley for Sports Shorts Radio. So that'll still go on. Ronnie will actually join me from the float for a few minutes. Hunter McCann is also riding, so I can handle that Saturday morning. So I'm looking forward to that.
Some other news and topics. How about the McNeese State Cowboys? Their Cinderella season has continued. They won the regular season Southland Conference Championship with Will Wade at the helm in his first year as coach. They also won the conference tournament at home, beat Nichols in the championship game. So therefore, they punched their ticket to the NCAA tournament. And with that said, with Will Wade, only 3 losses on the year, conference champions a couple of times this year, he is going to be the talk of the town next week at the NCAA tournament. And I just got to believe with this day and age with NIL and transfer portal and all that, go get Will Wade. I hate that for McNeese, but how can you as a mid-major or a big-time program not look at his body of work of what he did at LSU, what he's done at McNeese, forget the fact that he was on a FBI tape 6 years ago with a damn strong offer. Go get the dude. The dude knows how to win and build a basketball program.
Right. Funny you say that. Louisville announced that they're firing their coach. And I read, one of the National College Basketball Writers listed, they always put, top possible replacements. There were 10, 12 names. Will Wade was not on that list.
Right.
And, they had some names that were way up there. But then there was some names who were like the others to watch. I thought, sure, they put Will Wade. He was not on there. So, but no, tip of the hat to the Cowboys. 30 wins. Come on, Will Wade. 30 wins for McNeese. He's created a lot of. The only thing more exciting in Lake Charles is the Gumbo Gators from
That's
the
right.
Texas Collegiate League. Okay, so you got Will Wade and the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators. I mean, Lake Charles has got it going on, Ronnie. Well, I will get Ronnie back in 1 second. There you go. You guys back? I can't hear you, Ronnie. Ronnie, hit the mute button. All right, he's going to jump back in. Don't forget Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Plenty of boiled and live crawfish for the weekend. I'll be here Friday afternoon eating some crawfish, so we want you to come on by. Boiled or live, his supply chain is good. He's got plenty, not unlimited, but he's got plenty for the weekend. So we want you to do that here at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. All right, Ronnie, I got some predictions for you. You had asked me to whip them up. Well, first off, I watched Aaron Nola throw about 5 innings yesterday. He was very sharp. Served up fine, but he was very sharp. Ronnie, I didn't realize, so I read this. The last 6 years, he's been the Phillies' opening day starter.
Yep.
Think about it. 6 years in a row.
Incredible.
Aaron Nola has been the starter. And if he starts this year, it's either going to be him or Wheeler. That'd be 7 straight years as the Phillies starter. All right, LSU baseball. I've done a lot of thought, a lot of research. My prediction for the number of SEC wins for LSU is 18. I was thinking 19, but I had to go down to 18. I think they'll go 18 and 12 if they get all 30 in. The top pitcher is going to be Luke Holman. I don't think that's too much of a reach. And I think Brady Neal will lead the team in hitting when it's all said and done through the SEC play. I think when we get to May and selection day and all that stuff, the SEC conference tournament in Hoover, I think Brady Neal will be the leading hitter on the team.
You and Buzzy Heidel have the same number, 18 and 12. I have 17 and 13. I like 17
What did
and
Doug
13.
have?
I think he's got 17. He's either 17 or 18. I can't remember what. I have to look at my notes. But we're all right there. No, I think Doug had 17 and 13, but 17. But no. Let me look real quick because I took a screenshot. I made some notes, and I know that Doug and Buzzy both have them being a top 8 national seed, which 18 and 12 would I think in the SEC would get LSU a top 8 national seed. I have LSU 17 and 13 and being the number 9 or number 10 national. Let me see. I've got it right here. We did our little predictions after the Tuesday game. And yeah, Doug's got him 18 and 12 with being a national seed. I'll tell you, I like your pick on Neal as far as Brady Neal being the leading hitter. I actually have Tommy White being the leading hitter. Tommy White is on the struggle bus, but yet he's still hitting over 300. And the fact that he has shown the ability throughout his career to hit the ball the other way. I think he's going to eventually get hot, figure it out. And he can hit the ball the other way. And, when he put that shift on and get some free hits and stuff. But Neal, I really like his balance right now. His swing is so good. He's locked in. He's aggressive. He's not getting, he's not swinging at bad pitches. I think Brady Neal has taken a huge step forward physically, offensively as well. Like him a lot. But I'm going to go with Tommy White just because of the experience standpoint. And I do believe he is going to kind of go through that tear for a month where he's the, best hitter in the league type of thing. But what's interesting is Tommy White had 20 plus homers last year. He's got 2 through 18 games. He had 10 last year in SEC play, which is a torrid big time amount in 29 games. So, even if he hits 10 in SEC play, he hits 2. He's got 2 already. That's 12. Let's say he pops another 3 in midweek games. That's 15. It doesn't seem like he's going to get to 20. And I thought he was a stone cold lock to get 20 bombs this year. And it's going to be a struggle for him to get to 15. So, I mean, we're at 2 and we're saying 15. So he's got to get after it a little bit. That's been the real surprise. Who do you think, Tommy, from LSU's baseball team hits 10 or more homers this year? On their line, who do you think's going to hit? I think we all agree Jones. I mean, he's at 6 for now or whatever.
Yeah, Jones. I think. I mean, maybe Trubinsky. He's more like a 7 or 8 home run guy, maybe. But if he gets hot, Trubinsky can hit it out anytime he's at the plate. So I would think Trubinsky's my long shot to get 10 home runs.
So you got Jones hitting more than 10.
Correct.
And do you think White will eventually get there?
Yes, I think he'll get to 10. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't. I mean, White could hit 4 this weekend.
Okay.
He's got that explosive home run swing. Where if he gets the groove and he starts driving it out of right center, it could be over. So, I think White gets to 10, Jones gets to 10, Stravinsky's to maybe get to 10. After that, I don't think anybody gets to 10. You might have a bunch of guys with 5 or 6.
Yeah, I mean that's very different than it was.
I mean, you kind of agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, like if LSU doesn't have those 3 guys get to 10, then they might not get to 18 wins like you think. I mean, because look, as good as the pitching, as good as Paul Skeens was last year, as good as Paul Skeens was, and arguably, in my opinion, he had the greatest single season in LSU baseball history. Okay. And I know Lloyd Peaver went 14-0 with a 1.99, and I know Nola, I get all that. But the most dominant single season, dominant pitcher in baseball, Paul Skeens last year, he went 6-1 in his 10 starts in the SEC last year. 6-1 with a 2-something earned run average and 10 starts last year. So is Holman going to be better than that? Is Holman going to, in his 10 starts, going to be better than Paul Skeens was last year? So even with Paul Skeens, he only won 6 of his 10 starts. He only got credit, for wins in 6 of his 10. My point is the other teams pitch really well too. A&M's undefeated and have great arms. Arkansas has on paper better arms than LSU. LSU, it's not about our pitchers. It's about you got to score runs. You got to win 2-1. Can you get the 2? Because you're facing guys that are as good as Holman on the other side. So, just because LSU's got great pitching and they've got a staff ERA of 1.5 or less as starters, and they have a staff ERA under 3 for the whole season, you got to somehow figure out a way to scrap 3-4 runs across. And in the SEC play against the dominant pitching that everybody has, it's not a lock that that's even going to happen, especially on a Friday and Saturday night. So, all right, we move on to the next topic. LSU basketball today, they play at noon in the SEC tournament, the men do, 5-point underdog against Mississippi State. You put money on this game.
Yeah, I got State -5. And I said it wrong yesterday. State beat LSU by 20 a couple of weeks ago when LSU was in the middle of them 1-point victories. So the game's in Nashville, and State is, I think, playing well. They're the 9 seed, LSU's the 8 seed. And they lay 4.5 or 5. It was 5 where I shop. So I got on the Bulldogs, just thinking that they're going to get it done. At noon today, there's not a game before it, so those of you tuning in, it should start on time.
Good place to have a little lunch if you're wanting to watch the game because they play at noon. Go to LeBare's. Go to the sports book and watch the lunch there. Sit in the big sofas. Have the great food. Sports book's right there. You can place a bet on the game or all the other tournament games that are going on around the country. Check out the sports book at LeBare's. Lastly, Tommy, Nick Saban a few days ago was up in Washington, D.C. Tell us about that.
Well, I'll summarize where he basically testified to Congress that college football that he coached in for 50 years, minus the 2 years with the Dolphins, it's not the same game that he coached in. And he made the comment they were getting ready to have a bunch of kids and their families to his house for like a breakfast thing. And his wife, Terry, said, "What are we doing this for? These kids, all they want to know is how much are you going to pay them and how much are they going to be on the field." And it kind of dawned on him, combined with the players coming to him after they lost the semifinal game, saying, "All right, coach, how much am I gonna get paid next year?" It just soured Nick Saban. Now he's 72, and it's not like he's 62 and decided to quit. He's up in age, and he's gonna have TV contracts. He's gonna be everywhere. But he basically, said that the NCAA has let this thing get so far out of hand with the transfer portal and the NILs with no control, no sheriff in town, and it's just frustrating. I mean, we saw Chip Kelly leave the head job at UCLA to go to Ohio State as a coordinator. That normally doesn't happen that way, especially when you don't fire the guy. So I just think a lot of these coaches, Rick Pitino, his disgust. He's been very vocal about that in college basketball with the NIL and the portal. And that segment of coaches, they're happy to bail. They got enough money. Saban's got enough money. Patino's got enough money. He just basically said college football is not what it once was, and the passion for college football and the popularity of it was built not at this point in time. The unintended consequence of NIL and transfer portal is, I think the passion for football is going to go down. Are people still going to go to an LSU game? Yeah. They're still cheer for Tigers? Yeah. They're going to make the one road trip a year? Yeah. But that, get the fever on Thursday for the Saturday night kickoff, that ain't happening no more. And you got to pull your phone up to find out who half the players are. And it used to be you knew where every kid went to high school. You knew everything about these kids. Now you don't know. And I think the passion, not just LSU, but nationwide, is going to diminish a little bit. It's still going to be a popular game, but actually they had an increase in attendance 2 years in a row, and that hadn't happened in over 20 years in college football. Overall attendance was only up by 27 people per game, but it was still up. And that hadn't had back-to-back increases in attendance, nationwide average, since like 05, 06. So, college football is on shaky ground. You got the whole thing with the Big Ten and the SEC, and do they break away? And I mean, the playoff going to 12 teams and might go to 14. I mean, it's a mess, and it's going to stay a mess until September when teams start kicking off. I guess late August and playing football. It's changed. There's no question. And Saban, to answer your question, Saban really harped on that in front of Congress, because Congress has said they want to get involved in this, but you can't unscramble the egg. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. It's a mess unless they're going to say, okay, everything that's going on now is good for 3 more years. And then effective July 1, 2029, here's the new rules. And I don't know if that would fly.
So here's the problem I have with all of this. And look, the old 51-year-old get off my lawn guy that I am agrees with Saban. But it's hypocritical, of coaches to not like NIL. If Nick Saban wins the national championship, immediately following the game, he gets a contract extension, he gets a raise, and he's offended that the player, that players now would come to him and say, well, how much more am I going to make next year? Isn't that what you did? Why is it okay for coaches to become multimillionaires off the backs of amateurs that, they get to live in a nice dorm and they get to eat good food and they get that education, but you're making millions of dollars, and the more you win, the more you make. You're doing the same thing that the players want to do. So the system is jacked up, but I don't blame the players for asking for money. Tommy White, I saw him get a check for $50,000 in August at a signing. Is Tommy White a bad guy? No, that's the system that's in place. It's free market. We do that as a society. If Tremonti's Meat and Seafood could charge $35 for a burger and people would pay it, they would. We wouldn't be like, oh, they're bad for doing that. No, they got a $35 burger. People are buying it. They got a break a burger. And so that's the problem, Tommy. I don't know what to do. I don't know what the answer is, because what are you going to cap the play? If you want to cap the players or say that players can't, well, then cap the coaches. Say, well, coaches, you can't make multi-gazillions of dollars and then not give any, or not think that the players can go, wait a minute, how can Nick Saban make $12 million? I'm the one that ran the football. I'm the one that did this. I'm the one, and then where's mine? Where's a little bit of mine? And so it's a screwed up deal. It's not amateur anymore. They've got to figure out a way for college sports to separate, have the haves and the have-nots, have all the big boys be minor league-ish, and then everybody else be everybody else. Be Division III, Division II, whatever. Like it's the Rick Pitino's that have millions of dollars, and the Nick Sabans that have millions of dollars, and the Jimbo Fishers that have $80 million to get fired. I can't be on their side of this argument that, when they're making multi-millions and they're upset because a player is like, hey, can I get my $75,000 next year?
Well, and you're not the only one that feels there's a bit of hypocritical, in the air with Saban's comment. There have been some national writers said the same thing. And I agree with that. But I think, the coaches, Jerry Stovall was National Coach of the Year 50 years ago, made $60,000 a year. $60,000, okay? National Coach of the Year at LSU, and 82, I want to say. And, so the whole thing has changed. And I'm not defending Saban, but I think his whole point was it's not the same game. And he probably means from a coaching perspective too, because how many coaches have left, after promising 24 kids that, hey, I'm going to be your coach for 4 years. Oh, wait a minute. Here comes the NFL. Here comes, this other offer and, this, that, and the other. So it's all about the money. Follow the almighty dollar. That's at the root of all of this. And again, so my concern is, I think the passion is going to diminish this year. Where is it at 3-4 years from now? That'll give us a better snapshot, a better idea of the effect of the portal and NIL. The effect of the portal and the NIL now is it's caused disarray. Everything's just wacky. And, you hear, Utah gave all 85 football players a brand new $80,000 pickup truck last year. Every player. I don't care if you're the special team walk-on guy, you got that truck. Guys have gotten trucks before, but not all 85 players.
The NIL thing, I don't think they can do anything about that. The portal, that to me, I've been saying this all along. You can't touch NIL. It's free market. If Gordon McKernan wants to pay somebody $1 million to do a commercial and wear the G T-shirt, good for them. Okay. But the transfer portal, you can do something about. And the transfer portal is where the passion comes in. You've got players that I'm waiting. I keep saying this. I'm waiting for the quarterback to step to the podium, and go, hey, it's great to be here in Baton Rouge. Auburn. Like they don't even know where they are. They transfer to schools.
Like the concert, like good evening, right. Detroit, and they happen to be in, Cincinnati. Right. That's going to happen, right? I like that.
I'm waiting for that. But the thing is that like, if you minimize the transferring and you make players earn it, it's like it's the USSSA pandemic. It's the travel ball pandemic. Oh, I can't start for the Knights Black, so I'm gonna go play for the Lugnuts Green, because they're gonna guarantee me the spot. It's travel ball, but now in college sports. And we just jump. We're just gonna keep jumping until we find somebody that says, all right, yeah, you can play. And there's no, like, Tyrann Mathieu for the Saints, the Honey Badger had the big rant last week where he talked about how he sat behind these great players and how he hates the transfer portal and it made him better for having to earn it and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, all that. And so allow maybe guys to transfer once, but that's it. And if you did that and you had players that were at least at a school for 2 and 3 years, then there's buy-in from the fans, there's buy-in from the player to the university. Like right now, guys are coming and playing 1 year at LSU. They don't even know where, Superior Grill is located. They haven't even been to Highland. They haven't even left the campus. You know what I mean? Like, they don't know where the Rougarou play, because they don't, they're just going to be out of here in 6 months, 8 months, whatever. It's transient. It's professional sports. It's not minor league sports. It's not amateur sports. And we want, as LSU fans or as college sports fans, we want to believe in our heart that those players that, we believe that Joe Burrow loves LSU. That's why LSU fans love Joe Burrow, because they really believe that he and his family live and breathe and die LSU, just like, Bob from Thibodeau. But now you can't say that. We don't necessarily believe that these players live and breathe it. And that's the difference.
And like I said, you used to know everything. You know the guy played running back at Deskerhan and scored 6 touchdowns against Hymanville one night. You knew that about players at LSU, especially the ardent fans. So that's not going to be the case anymore. You're going to have to be like, oh, transfer portal. Where'd he come from? Omar Speights. He came from Oregon State. Oh, where's he from? Oh, he's from the East Coast, but he went to, it's just craziness. But we're all going to bet on the games. We're all going to put the TV on. We're going to go to the stadium. We're going to make that road trip. Bob Dylan sang it in 1964. The times they are changing, and that song fits every day.
Tell us about Tremonti's on the way out, TK.
Got a lot of crawfish here, boiled in live. Not an unlimited supply, but more than normal for the weekend. All your wine, your liquor, your booze, Jambalay's lunch special today. It's really good stuff. I mean, Jambalaya, it's famous here. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. We want you to check them out. On-site catering. They can do catering for you, crawfish balls for you. They can sell you the crawfish. They can come out on-site and boil them. Everything going on at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Connect on Facebook and Instagram. They post a lot of stuff on Facebook and Instagram about crawfish specials, meat sales, liquor specials, the whole bit. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood in Baton Rouge. And don't forget, Saturday morning, I'll be on the air. A lot of folks at the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Let's hope the weather cooperates. But I'll be on Saturday morning, going to have the likes of Bill Franquez, Lynn Rollins, Joel Davis. Who else? We're going to get a bunch of folks there. I'll be at the walk-ons in Bruley. So don't forget, Saturday morning, you might be parade busy, but if not, Sports Shorts Radio on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Hey, like and share this show. As we always say, that's a big help to us and all of our partners. I'm Tommy Christ, and on behalf of Ronnie Rance, have a great day, everyone.